Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the part two of Danny T's films. We are Let's Camera Discussion podcast, and yeah, we're talking about Mr. Dan Trachtenberg. This was Todd's choice. So if you've seen part one, obviously, then you know who we're talking about, as I say, Danny T, and we're going to be talking about his Predator films now. So, Todd, take it away. What's the first one we're talking about?
So, Prey is Danny T's first foray into the Predator franchise and the first of 3 Predator films in the Trachtenverse, in quotation marks. Naru is a Comanche healer, determined to be a hunter. When a Yautja alien lands and begins its hunt, Naru must use all of her skills to outwit and eventually outhunt the Predator.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, Todd, thoughts?
Oh, yes. This film's fucking class. Like, it's with Alien, with Evil Dead and Predator, I think you can take them, and if you get the elements right, you can set them anywhere at any time. And this is a perfect example of it. It takes the old format and makes it, it just changes it just enough. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the cast, I think the mix of CGI and practical works really well. Yeah, excellent.
Colin, what are you laughing at?
Do you know the meme of it? It's like the 3 dragon heads, and there's like it's like, and 2 are cool, and one's like less cool. I'm just like Alien, Predator, Evil Dead. Why is that there?
Hey,
the polar bear in Arkansas.
It's like the kid, the little fat kid. And it's obviously like when he's watching the person walk past and he just makes the funny face and like looks down. Like the guy's like, "Oh, hello, Alien. Hello, Predator. What the fuck is that?" And it's the Evil Dead.
It's a classic franchise.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
I like Evil Dead, but yeah, anyway, sorry. Just why is that in the same conversation?
Coldy, first thoughts on Prey?
I love this film. I think it's excellent. I think it's arguably the second best in the whole franchise. It's one of those ones you're gutted that you didn't get a chance to see in the cinema, but I think due to its success, we got an actual release of Alien Romulus off the back of it, so it worked out well in the long run for us, I think.
Yeah, it's a really good film. It's, as you say, Todd. I think you just plop Predator in any sort of time period, which we will obviously be talking about at some point, and it just works, or it can just work, and this is just testament to it. It's a incredible film, and I watched it when it first came out on like Disney Plus, and it was really good to revisit it. Absolutely. Okay, well, I mean, let's talk about obviously the sort of the main character really is Naru, played by Amber Midthunder. I'd never seen her in anything beforehand, but she has been in a couple of things since. Like she was in was it Novocaine with Jack Quaid?
Yeah,
which she was quite fun in. So yeah, it was kind of good seeing, because I think she's not like she's Comanche or something anyway, so like it kind of added a bit of authenticity to the film. But yeah, what do you think of her as Naru, Todd?
She was amazing. Obviously, like I say about this film being so solid, and I think it's because of her. The action scenes, as this person who's supposed to be the healer, but is desperate to be the hunter, and has obviously grown up around a brother who is a hunter. You get that immediately. I think there's a number of different action moments, but the way she deals with the choreography, and like I say, this is my introduction to her. And I think it will be personal to her, being of Comanche heritage, that like she wants to push this character. I think she bounces well off a brother. I think them two work really well together. And again, it's not. I think it was Collie used the damsel in distress sort of thing. It's not like, oh, he is just a girl who wants to. She has that force behind her, but she's also believable in terms of she's loved by people, wants to be looked after, but wants to also push herself. I thought she was amazing. I don't want to sort of ruin best scenes, especially because it's one of mine, but I can't get over the level at which she handles the fight choreography. I think it's It's stunning.
Mhm. Yeah, it's crazy the action stuff that she does for what I haven't had seen her, the first thing I see her in. And but a lot of the stuff as well is what she does in like the quiet moments, like when going through the forest and stuff. Like again, it's one of these people that seems to have intelligence like beyond just like a fighter kind of thing. She actually thinks about how to deal with situations and stuff as well. And I think that really lends to the character and makes her such a formidable sort of an opponent to the Predator, I suppose. But yeah, I thought she was absolutely phenomenal, and yeah, it's a shame I've not seen her much more. Like I say, she was in Novocaine. I don't know what else she's sort of done, but yeah, I think she's a phenomenal kind of main character in this. Certainly up there with like your Arnold, your Danny Glovers and stuff as well. I think she's fantastic. Collie?
Yeah, for a first exposure to a person as an actor, this is up there in terms of probably the most, or one of the most impactful. I think she carries the film. I know there's a lot of good supporting cast that we'll discuss. And there's a lot of good work in terms of the writing and the choreography and that. But yeah, like you say, Massey, the quiet moments and that just sheer determination. The moments when it's just her and Sari, the dog, out in the wilderness, and she's talking to the dog and acting with the dog. I think it's kind of a underrated thing to consider, like how difficult that must have been. But yeah, I thought she was amazing. And just in terms of like what else she's been in, she's apparently in that Monarch as well, in the season 2 of that Monarch. So that's even more reason I think for me to actually get around to watching it sooner rather than later. But yeah, I thought she was solid. And to echo what Todd said about the damsel in distress, like not for one moment did you think that she was. Obviously, there was times that you were like, oh, like, is she going to get hurt? Obviously, there's that section earlier on with the lion and stuff, but never for 1 minute did I doubt that she was going to pick herself up, learn lessons, and then go and crack on. Some of my favorite stuff that she was doing was the axe throwing and then tying it with a rope and chucking it between the trees and stuff like that. I thought that was just sick.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool. So yeah, there's obviously this one is it's a bit more of a kind of cast than sort of the previous films. Some have more things to do than others, or are kind of there as more of like a sort of background sort of thing. But Todd, was there anyone that obviously stood out for yourself? I think I can assume one of them was obviously the brother, but was there anyone else as well?
Yeah, no. So just to touch on Dakota Beavis as a brother, like I think them two had this level of almost like not quippiness in terms of like how we use it to talk about Marvel, but that kind of the bond. There's real chemistry. And it is that sort of cheekiness between the two of them, but you can see that a brother wants to look out for her and stuff. And I think he did a great job, but I think they both worked well together, and they both protect each other, which I think is a cool element. Dane Delegro, yeah, there we go, Delegro, who played the Predator. I think to do a lot of it as practical, and I think we'll come on to this as well. In the later films, but like to do that practically and to have that physicality, I think is such a feat. And I think it's important that they don't go down the CGI route or like max CGI, which again some films have, and it's failed miserably. I think to have that physical Predator was good. I think the Comanche tribe, like the hunters themselves, the moment where her and her brother are separated and they're sent out to look for her, that I think they did a great job as well. But for me, Dakota Beavers and Midthunder were the highlights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you definitely felt like they were siblings, didn't you? Like it was a proper proper chemistry that they had between each other. I totally agree with what you say about the Predator as well. I think it loses something if it just went CGI. I think having like someone actually doing the practical side of the Predator just adds a load more to it. Whether it makes it feel realer, which of course it would, but it No, but you know what I mean? Like how it's so easy to go just down the CGI.
I just
route
laughed at
and-
you saying the word reeler.
Yeah, but like it's so easy to go down that way. But then with practical stuff, as you well know, when done right, it can be like the game changer between a good movie and a great movie. But yeah, I mean, even the design of the Predator I thought was incredible. It was like so sleek and like, you know, wore its trophies and stuff like I know they normally do, but it just felt like proper fit the time period as well in a weird way. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I agree. The brother sibling, the brother sister relationship was really well played by the two of them. Collie?
Yeah, just echoing what you both say. Really, I think it's interesting that is it Tabby? Is that how you pronounce the brother's name?
Yeah.
That the script confirms that Billy in the original Predator is a reincarnation of Tabby, and his last stand in the original Predator film, they're retroactively saying that that's him seeing that like Tabby's last stand from a past life, and that's why he does that. It's not even that they're like distinctly like related or anything like that. It's they're seeing it as like a reincarnation kind of thing because of their beliefs and stuff, which I think is pretty sick. I think his performance is great. His physicality, the way that he like towers over Naru as well, because he's so like not thin and tall, but like and not even like lanky, but he's just this massive physical presence, and that kind of is echoed and mirrored in the Predator being massive, and the fact that this Predator is like classed as like a feral predator, and we'll talk about this maybe in the next couple of films, but there's like obviously different subspecies of predator due to like where they grow up or where they are based in Yautja Prime and stuff. So there is a different look to this one compared to the original, which I think is pretty sick. And even just the fact that they choose to use like a skull for his helmet, and his trophies are slightly different in that. I think the fact that a lot of it is practical with like top ups by VFX, I think is amazing. And obviously Trachtenberg has tried to stick by that as much as possible when it comes to Badlands as well. So I think this is a great starting point for him.
Absolutely. Okay, I mean, do you want to kind of talk a bit more about like sort of the? I don't know if you want to go into the Predator side of stuff just now, or do you want to leave that until a bit later because it's kind of introduces more sort of Predators and stuff as well.
We can probably do that as like a thing at the end of Badlands because we'll discuss three of them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, Todd, was there anything that stood out for yourself? Maybe, you know, again, we spoke about writing. It's a little bit different in that it's not as intimate, I suppose, but there's a lot that kind of happens, obviously, in the film. Anything that stands out for yourself from that sort of point?
When Collie was talking about in terms of story and in terms of character development, I think it's a little bit of foreshadowing, and maybe not that deep. But when Collie was talking about the axe thrown with the rope and kind of how that gets used, that it's not just a fighting tool, that this thing's used over and over again. So when she's stuck and she's almost sort of like drowning, and she's using it to pull herself out, it's not some like Spider-Man level thing where she can just go whip and go. That there's like she's had to train for that, and we've seen that this isn't just something where she's gone, how can I use this? We've seen her train for it. We've seen her get ready for it, and I thought that was a really cool little element. I just think the reverence for like the Comanche tribe as well, and like the heritage side of things. That obviously like, you know, it could have just been something where it's like touched on and left. But, you know, different phrases, so, like, again, using the Comanche language at the beginning, you know, which, again, is a trend that we'll see throughout the rest of the films, which I think is a lovely touch. But, yeah, I think the reverence that Trachtenberg has for that is really impressive, and I think it took a lot of time, took a lot of research, but it paid off because it just makes the whole thing more authentic. That, like you say, you've plopped the Predator, and like it will work. It'll work when you just put the Predator against a viable foe in a time period or a different country. But you've got to build that world, and I think he built a living, breathing world that, you know, I didn't know a lot about, and still probably don't know a great amount about, but I just thought it worked really well.
I think you're absolutely right about that, like how you can, you know, put the Predator into different time zones and stuff, but if it doesn't have that authenticity to it, then it, you know, leaves behind that sort of level of what could have been, sort of thing. It just kind of builds out the world in a way that makes it such a more intriguing film. Collie, what were your thoughts on that side of things, like the writing and things?
I think it's solid, and I think it's like, you could have underwrote or overwrote a film like this, but I think it kind of treads the quiet moments and the discussions between the tribes and stuff perfectly. Obviously, the interactions with the stinky French guys, that's really well written, because they're the actual antagonist, whereas the Predator's just top of the food chain kind of thing, which is like, and it's interesting, the parallels between them in terms of the different methods of their hunting. They're laying all these traps that, like, obviously Sari gets trapped in. They're killing the buffaloes, but not doing anything with it. They're just outright just killing the buffalo. Whereas, the Predator's doing it because it's taking these trophies and stuff. It's actually hunting, for reasons that are more honourable than the French guys. But yeah, just the fact that, like, Trachtenberg's taking this over, and we'll probably touch on it at the end as well, but he's kind of rekindled this franchise that Shane Black had killed, essentially, with the Predator. Literally literally they did not know what to do with it. The fact that this was just chucked on Hulu Plus or whatever it was at the time, or Disney Plus for us, and where it is now in terms of how much, because I think Badlands, I know we're kind of skirting about a little bit, but I think it's the biggest budget they ever gave a Predator film is Badlands, like even more than the Predator and stuff. So that shows obviously how much they trust in Danny T and the Trachtenverse.
Yes.
Please don't get that trending. No.
Yeah, it's that.
Our 10 views per episode is not going to get that. any traction on the Trachtenverse.
Okay.
Terrible. Okay. Anything else you guys want to cover? Do you want to kind of move on to categories then?
I'm fine with categories, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good to move on.
Cool. Okay then, Todd, favourite quote?
Was the moment where they're ducked in the grass and Tabby goes, "We have him," and then Naru goes, "No, he has us," with the dots on that. I thought I was a class.
Yeah. My one was a slightly different. It was Naru to the trapper. "You bled my brother, so now you bleed." Badass. Collie?
When just right at the end, when she's away to or the Predator's away to kill itself with its own weapon, she's just, come on, do it. And then she actually says, "This is as far as you go, no more." I thought that was a great final stand for her against it.
Definitely. And when she goes, "Get to the chopper," as well, that was
And after your quote, she goes, "If you bleed, we can kill you."
Yeah. And then she says, "I'm in Last Action Hero."
Shut up. Fucking idiot.
Favorite scene, Todd?
Is the possum scene with the tribe, where it's like the first real introduction of how dangerous the Predator can be, where they're laughing at Naru and they just get openly torn to pieces. It's brilliant. Like I said, anyway, yeah, the action's brilliant, but that just kind of opens up to what the Predator is.
For me, it's the bear scene. Like, just absolutely insane. Like, the way that they use the blood and stuff as well, to show like the Predator in his like invisible form and stuff, and just the power of like being able to kill it, is it's an insane action scene. I love it. Todd? Collie? Sorry, Collie.
The bear scene for me as well, unbelievable. Like, it's up there with me in terms of, like, in the scenes of the last decade or scene of the 2020s, like that, and like the Trinity tests and stuff for me are up there. I remember just watching it for the first time and being like, that's fucking, like, just the visual, like you say, the blood dripping down like over his shield and stuff like that. I thought it was just an amazing visual to show his strength, and it just looked class. I did get a little note on it that one interesting behind the scenes story is the early test audiences who weren't familiar with the Predator franchise were confused by the scene. Some thought that the invisible creature was drinking the bear's blood like a vampire, rather than the blood simply revealing its cloaked body. Trachtenberg has talked about how surprising that reaction was, and I was like, yeah, I never would have thought that for a second. But I guess maybe knowing the franchise, I knew that. But yeah, that was Danny T was confused, as was I, by that reaction.
It's not like it was going glug 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 glug.
Well, you never know. It might have been.
Oh, okay, fair.
Absorbing it through its cloak or something. I don't know.
Yeah. MVP, Todd.
Mid Thunder for me. I thought she was amazing, and I would have liked to have given it to Danny T, but I just think she came out of nowhere and did a phenomenal job.
I was like you, I was torn between two, but I chose Danny T. I think for being able to revive the franchise and you can tell he obviously loves it as well. I think it was a great job that he did. But yeah, Mid Thunder as well is a fantastic shout. Collie?
Yeah, Coco, who played Sari the dog.
She was a very good dog. Was it a she or a he? I don't actually. I think it was a she.
I think it was a she.
Yeah. Very good dog, yeah.
But yeah, like I think they descended from the actual dogs that were around at the time.
Incredible. Again, that level of authenticity, isn't it? It's brilliant. All right, scores, Todd?
5 stars for me.
I give it 4.5. Probably should be 5 to be fair. Collie?
Maybe you're saving the 5s for next episode.
Maybe.
It was a 5 for me.
Excellent stuff.
Good.
Okay, moving on to the next one, Danny T's Trachtenverse. Todd.
So our next film is Predator, Killer of Killers, an animated anthology tracking 3 predators chasing their prey across 3 different time periods on Earth, leading up to the ultimate tournament, the Killer of Killers.
First thoughts, Todd?
Yeah, this is fucking class as well. Like it just the time periods that they choose are perfect. The animation style is phenomenal. I think it works so well. I know we'll touch on it like a little bit more. The types of predators that they choose are amazing. I think the characters work really well. I do think that there's an order to segments in terms of which are better than others. But I think they all stand solidly together, and I think the little Easter eggs and stuff that are chucked in are really cool as well. Just another incredible entry into the franchise.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is my rewatch. I watched this when it first came out, and I loved it when it first came out, and I loved it watching it again. Again, you pick up little bits and pieces that maybe I didn't quite catch on the first time round, yeah, some of the fight choreography, because it's animated, they can do maybe a little bit more. As you say, the design of some of the predators, the time periods, I say time scales, but time periods that were used, brilliant. It's a really smart film with a lot of the stuff they do. Yeah, I really, really enjoy this film. Collie?
Yeah, similar to you guys, the watched it when it first came out, really enjoyed it. Like you're saying, loved the choices of the 3 different time periods, and then the culmination in that epilogue on Yautja Prime and stuff. I think sick. And like you say, they could probably do more because it's animated, but just the animation style, like it was really fluid and wasn't like over the top. Like I love the Spider-Verse films, for example.
Yeah.
But it just felt a little bit more grounded than the likes of the Spider-Verse. But I guess that's because it's Spider-Man and it's versus like humans per se, and some aliens. But I think it made its own distinct style, because I can't really think of anything that's exactly similar to this in terms of how it looks and how it feels from an animation perspective.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. It's almost like the Walking Dead, like Telltale stuff, isn't it? Like that's gonna.
Well, I mean, Telltale's all the same, but yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Telltale ones. Right. All right. Jesus.
If you'd have just said the Telltale style, it would have been absolutely. But
I did
because
say
you honed
that.
in on Walking. No, you said Walking Dead Telltale.
Remember,
I was like, the rest of the Telltale is very similar to that. As if you go back and edit anything. I can guarantee when there's like folks' mics fucking up and stuff, you do not go back and edit it.
Yes, I do. Okay, anyway, moving on.
Is he fucking looking? Are you filming this with your GoPro?
No, I'm not actually. I'm not.
In front of your mic.
Yeah. POV me. Do you want to kind of run through each sort of timescales quickly then? I keep saying timescale, time period then quickly, just so we can kind of cover each part.
You're the boss.
I'm the boss. Okay. Well, Todd, do you want to just take us through each one quickly then? Seeing as it's a
Yeah,
quick episode.
so in we've got the Shield, which is during the Viking era, where we follow Ursa, who is our main character. Then we go to the Sword, where you've got it's Kenji's story, but it's Kenji and Kiyoshi in Japan during the era of the samurai, and then finally in the 40s in the USA we have the Bullet, where we follow Torres, who is a wannabe fighter pilot, we'll call him, in America. And like I say, all three of those people eventually end up defeating the Predator. They're what's it called? They're applicable. They're appropriate Predator, and then becoming part of the tournament of the Killer of Killers. So yeah, I mean the Shield for me, the Viking one was really cool. I think some of the combat in that felt more Viking, felt more brutal. And I think that's another thing that they get really well in each one is like the Shield is more brutal, the Sword is more sort of quiet and stealthy because it's ninjas, not ninjas, sorry. Well, it is ninjas and samurai. And then finally the Bullet, where it's obviously dogfighting, which is an element that they don't really touch on much in the Predator universe with the spaceships and stuff and how that works. But I thought all three sort of hit those notes really well.
Mm-hmm. And again, as well, I think we're talking about the animation, like how it allows them to do different things. Like they wouldn't do like a dogfight in live action Predator. It would be so hard to kind of get that in a way that would be interesting, I suppose. And same with obviously the samurai sort of things, the more quiet kind of stuff that they do there, especially the more intricate movements and stuff as well. And then obviously with the more barbaric Viking kind of side of things. Collie, do you want to kind of touch on each one or what you enjoyed in each part, do you think? Or
yeah, I like you were saying, like I enjoyed the different aspects that they were kind of quite distinctly different, even though the animation style carried through the three of them. I think there was different vibes throughout them. And what's an interesting tidbit when I was looking into the research is that the Predators tend to learn from the previous incarnations depending on what weapon they use, and they carry that through. And then obviously at the end, when in the epilogue, they each get given, you know, a weapon to use against the Predator, and Torres gets given the flintlock pistol, which has been carried throughout the franchise. I thought was quite funny, but you'd be kind of screwed. You'd be like, why have I got a flintlock pistol? You know, because we didn't really touch on it in Prey, but there's that sequence when they all shoot at the feral Predator, and then he's just watching them as they're all having to like try and reload their bayonets and that. I thought it was quite funny. But yeah, I think the vibes and the character development of each one was distinct enough. I mean, maybe not enough to flesh it out as a full movie for each section, but you could have easily broadened this out into like, I don't know, a 9-episode TV show of animation or something like that, or even kind of similar to what's the Marvel one, Massey, that you covered on the podcast?
What if?
What if they could have done various what if kind of type episodes, and then have that with the epilogue being a final thing? Because I just feel that they're that rich and distinct between them. But yeah, I love the kind of narrative devices that were used.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. In terms of kind of the voice acting and stuff like that, obviously there's many people. I want to give a shout out to Damien from Smosh. Like, do you guys ever watch Smosh?
I've seen clips of it on like shorts and stuff like that. Yeah.
So he's Anders, the kid at the start that dies. Massive shout out to him. But Michael Biehn as well. I actually really like the voice cast in that it's not massive names as well. It kind of, they're more suited to their actual characters and their time period and stuff as well. Was it anyone
cool trivia about Michael Biehn before you move on?
On you go, call your trivia boy.
Do you know though
that he's been in the 3?
Yeah, he's the third person to be in the 3 franchises and fight against all 3 of the baddies in it. And the third franchise is not Evil Dead, by the way, just before Todd thinks it is.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's Terminator, Alien, and Predator.
Yeah, some boy. But yeah, I mean, anyone that stood out for yourself then, Collie?
Louis Ozawa voiced Kenji and Kiyoshi, and he was actually the Yakuza guy in Predators, which is quite cool because they've got the throwbacks to when he's using the katana to fight the Predator and stuff. I thought was a cool throwback. I thought he was really good.
Yep. Todd, anyone?
Yeah, he was mine as well. I think being able to get the brothers, obviously they're different because of their fighting styles as well, but I thought getting the brothers different enough. Rick Gonzalez as Torres as well, I thought was a lot of fun. I thought he brought a bit more light to the film. You know, like it's quite serious, but him being that young guy, I thought worked really well. Vandy as well was a lot of fun. Was that, you know, typical American general or whatever? You know, he was a lot of fun. I think, like you say, when I look through the voice cast, it's a lot of names that I don't know but have heard in other places, like in game. It's a lot of video game voice actors and stuff, which again lends itself perfectly to this because it does feel ever so slightly video gamey, especially because, you know, the samurai Japanese section, it's not a lot of dialogue at all.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of quiet. So it's a lot of grunts and sort of, you know, that kind of thing that you know, a video game actor would need to do. I thought, yeah, good.
Go and give us a grunt, just.
That's there you go. That's getting stabbed. Just in case you couldn't tell.
Seemed a little bit insensitive.
That was really good.
Thanks. Oh, see, but I'll take it.
Good stuff. I would say, like, see with Torres, he did annoy me a little bit. That was the weaker part, I would say. Like, it felt a little bit out of place. You know, he was always like kind of bumbling around, like, and he said, I can't remember exactly what it was he said, but he says each time, like, it was like when he was talking himself, he just always go like, "Okay, Torres," and you're like, "Okay, I get it. Let's just settle down with that." But I did enjoy the section, of course, as well. Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to run through with that? Any bits and pieces, or happy enough to go into?
Just in terms of best, you said like the best bits, or you know, I would go sword, shield, bullet would be my ranking of the I don't know if top to bottom. Yeah, Japan, Viking, America.
Was Viking a place? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Viking is a place.
Yeah,
Japan, Norway. Yeah.
Don't cheer for them. They're the Vikings.
Well, I mean, we can quickly do that as well if you
want. I just thought.
What do you think, Collie? What was your favourite three?
I'd rank it the same way. But the Japan section was definitely my favourite.
I had shield over sword.
Of course you did.
I'm so contrarian, just have to be different. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. But yeah, they were all really good. Okay, so quotes. Todd, what's your favourite quote?
My quote is on the ship, where Kenji says, "Only a fool deals with a fool, and a man who talks to himself finds only the dead listening." That was really, really cool.
Interesting. For me, it was Ursa at the end when she screams, "Do not avenge me," because she like accepted her new family and that she can get them to safety. I really enjoyed that. Collie?
Mine's just between Kiyoshi and Kenji. Just a little discussion that said, Kiyoshi said, "The leaves of a tree grow side by side, yet when they fall alone." And Kenji says, "But you're not alone. You're not alone, my brother." I thought that was cool.
That's nice. Very nice. Favourite scene, Todd?
Kenji breaking into the bell tower and sort of trying to not to kill anybody, holding the head and like with the sort of like chain spear thing that he was using. That whole moment like made me hold my breath a little bit. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. For me, it was Ursa when she first broke into the fort and just goes absolutely ham on everyone. That was when I was like, yeah, I'm proper in this. Collie?
Just a big final gladiatorial battle. I thought was a good culmination and a good payoff. Having watched the three stories like culminate together, I thought it was really solid.
Definitely. An MVP, Todd?
For me. I think to be able to do three solid, like to be able to put together three solid moments, was a feat. Very admirable.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think his direction led to all culminating in a way that felt like it made sense and felt like it was done correctly. So yeah, I think Trachtenberg 90 as well. Collie?
Trachtenberg was my second. My first is Danny Glover as Mike Harrigan from Predator 2 in the epilogue scene, probably.
Is there not different people in that one though? At the end, did they not change it or something like
There's
that?
loads of different people.
Yeah, because I'm sure they had Arnie as well first, and they changed it, and they have Naru as well, and so yeah, interesting. But yeah, Danny Glover's a great show, fantastic show.
He was my MVP.
Yeah. And ratings, Todd?
I'd give it a 5.
5 from me as well. Yeah, Collie?
4.5 from me. Mine would have been a 5 like yours, Massey, but I found Torres annoying, so I marked it down 0.5 star.
It's fair enough. As I say, I found him annoying as well, but just not enough for it to mark it down enough. But I completely understand
It's just that step above Man Without a Face for you. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just.
A full star better than Sicario.
Absolutely, 100%.
Checking.
Todd, what's our last film we're talking about?
So our final film is Predator Badlands. Vying for acceptance into his tribe, Yautja Dek goes in search of the ultimate prey. On a planet where Dek is not the deadliest creature, he must work together with an android and a local creature to claim his trophy.
Right, first thoughts, Todd.
Yeah, I went to see this at the cinema and I just described it as a really good time at the cinema. Like, it was just as good on a rewatch on the telly and all that kind of thing, but to see it at the cinema and have like the sound, and I think it's such a well put together film where like all of it, I think it changes the Predator universe as well, because it's, why are these creatures going to these different planets? Like, it gives them a personality because it's told from the perspective as such of a Yautja. It changes how you would probably see the other films. I think performances are great. The different set pieces are fantastic. The planet that they've made as well is amazing, and the title card, brilliant. Love a mid film title card.
Oh, sorry. Just on that note, before you give your thoughts, Massey, like, is it the title card, and then it's got the title, and then it's got above it and below it, it's got like 20th Century Fox, and below it, it's got a load of spiel as well. Prey was the same. It's so jarring. I forgot to mention this during Prey. I think it just looks fucking stupid, but I guess it's just a studio demanding it kind of thing. Yeah, like, I love the big title of like the film, but then when it's got like extra credits, like the movie studios and stuff above and below, it looks fucking stupid.
I mean, Collie, do you want to start on your thoughts on this one?
No, we'll go with you first.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it in the cinema as well. And I really liked rewatching it with the context. Will I go into spoilers? Should I go into spoilers a little bit? Or
why wouldn't you go into spoilers?
It's fine. I didn't know if we'd leave it until later, but the context of like
folk aren't gonna have watched it between the start of this conversation and the end of this conversation.
They might have, but yeah, the context of like the Kalisk and who is the Kalisk and stuff as well.
Who's the Kalisk?
Bud is the baby.
Whoa,
I know. I thought like
spoilers, everybody.
Spoiler, sorry guys, sorry. Yeah, I really enjoyed seeing that from like knowing what was coming and stuff as well. Like, it just kind of changed the context a little bit on stuff. But yeah, I think the creature design, the whole planet design was incredible as well. For it to be such a hazardous planet, it was interesting, the different things that they put in there, and then also the way that it was used, obviously towards the end, by Dek, I thought was great. Collie?
I didn't see it at the cinema, but I enjoyed it when I watched it. It's a solid entry into the franchise. Definitely a different direction. It's very Disneyfied, which has its pros and cons. I enjoyed the main two performances, especially. Some of the set pieces were excellent. I thought a lot of the CGI was great. There wasn't too much hokey CGI for me, which is good. And yeah, just like I said, a worthy entry into the franchise, just a different direction from anything previous. But I think Danny T is went 3 for 3 in terms of different stabs at the franchise, and I'm not meaning that in terms of like he's got one wrong, he tries a different one. I think he's nailed all three, but for different reasons and in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. All right then, Todd, do you want to start us on like performances stuff? Again, there's not much. Well, there's obviously different characters, but again, it kind of centers around obviously Thea and Deck. What were your thoughts on those two and their chemistry, maybe?
Obviously, in terms of Deck is largely based on his physicality more than anything else, because it's a lot of facial movement with the mandibles. Is that what you would call them? I think, yeah. So then it's to do with the physicality and it's to do with the movement. But I think what Demetrius brings to the role is that sort of level of physicality in the movement and the relationship with Thea, with Elle Fannon's character. We're all having a stretch. And I thought Elle Fannon, I think, is brilliant as the two androids that you've got that, and I agree it is Disneyfied in terms of like the sort of the way that she talks and that like almost comedy that you got a bit of it with Torres in Killer of Killers, but it's that constant like asking questions and trying to learn and all that kind of stuff, which I thought was really cool. But I think what the two of them do, and Bud a little bit, but like more them too, is that they bounce off each other and build the characters. Like obviously the Yautja are solitary predators. They don't hunt in packs or whatever, and you know he even says that. He says that Yautja hunt alone type thing. But you believe that they would build this relationship. It's not just okay, fuck it, let's change who the Yautja are type thing, which I thought was really good. But Elle Fannon as the two different sort of androids, I thought worked really well as well.
Yeah, I really liked Elle Fannon's kind of almost naivety, but like from the things that she knows, if you know what I mean. Like it felt like she was like she was always learning along the way, and I really enjoyed the way that she did that. And then on the flip side, her having the kind of she was villainous as the other like cyborg sort of thing, but it was the sort of steadfast sort of directness of her as well, as in like Mother gave her the mission and it was like it was getting done no matter what sort of thing, which I really enjoyed as that sort of like the two what do they call it? Cyborgs or the
androids?
Synthetics. I'm just like when you said cyborg, Todd pulled like the funniest face ever. It's like,
sorry, Todd. Sorry.
I tried to be subtle about it. My face, like, sorry.
Synthetic rights. That's what he's about. He's like, don't call them cyborgs.
That's a slur. But Deck's physicality and the way that he grew as the film went on and was able to use the hazardous world for his like benefit kind of thing in a way that it kind of showed the growth of a predator to be almost past predator, and kind of it wasn't just like he was just hunting sort of thing. He was actually using his vitamin and growing as a person, a predator. I really enjoyed that side of things. Colin, what were your thoughts on them?
So I was just lost in the sauce of what the fuck you were trying to make as your last point there. I was just like Baby Groot, just like open mouth, just staring, trying to understand what you're on about. Yeah, I thought the performances were great. I'm going to give his name a bash since neither of you have said it. Demetrius Schuster Kola Mata Angi, I'm going to say. I thought he was class. I thought, like you say, his physicality was great. The fact that there was a couple of behind the scenes things that I was looking at and looking into was that he had to change the way that his mouth moved and stuff to work with the mandibles and the way that they were going to CGI Dexy and stuff, and they actually had to go back and do stuff after the fact to make it sync up a little bit, just because the way that he'd acted it and stuff, I thought was really interesting. So they used a lot, because he actually had motion tracking on his face, and then that was fed into how they CGI'd obviously the lower half of his face. Because I think he had the full mask and stuff, but they had to make sure his mandibles were moving to it, so it looked like he was actually saying both the kind of Yautja language, but also anything else that he was trying to put across to Tia and Tessa. Going to Elle Fanning, I think she distinctly played both of the synthetics completely separate from one another. You didn't really get them confused, but there's that element of Fassbender when he plays David and whatever the other one is in Prometheus and Covenant, that they're the same but different, and there's that underlying badness of Tessa, and there's that wholesomeness of Thea. And I can't remember what one of you said it before there, but Thea was learning because obviously she knows how certain things on the planet work, so she'll say to Deck oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't go in there because that's that razor grass or whatever it was called. She knows that from the fact that they've been researching it, and she's programmed and she's got this database, and she's obviously trying to interrogate Deck as a species, as a member of the Yautja, to learn about the Yautja and feed that back so they know about them. So there was an analytical side to Thea when she's dealing with Deck, I thought, in terms of it then breeds into this friendship after the fact. But when there's that little twist when she's oh no, actually I only wanted to get back to my quote unquote sister, this wasn't a kind of a real bond or whatever, but then it obviously graduates to a real bond towards the end when her and Deck and Bud become a clan unto their own. But yeah, two great solid performances for the main two, and then kind of as we go through the rest of the cast, I think there's some great physical performances from the likes of Ruben de Jong as his father, and then Mike Homick as his brother at the start as well. I think everyone who played the Yautja, obviously there's the stuff that you have to overcome to act through the prosthetics and act through the CGI, but I think everyone does it well, and I think a lot of that is to do with Danny T's direction.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I definitely think the father and the and his brother, you can see the kind of, as you say, through the prosthetics, they've got to have that physicality, and you can see the kind of stubbornness of the father, but then also the way that the brother treats Deck, showing through the physical. I mean, obviously, there's a performance as well with the Yautja language and stuff, but for the context, the way that the brother kind of acts and stuff as well, as you can see that he obviously loves Deck, and then obviously shows some shows that by saving him and stuff as well. But yeah, I totally agree. I think it must be really tough to be an actor and be behind that amount of prosthetics and things, where you can't see any of you've just got to obviously be the physical being of a predator and still have that different characteristics as well. Must be so hard to do. But yeah, I thought those guys were great as well. Todd, do you want to take it away?
Just in terms of the rest of the cast, like you say, I think the physicality and stuff's brilliant. I think what Danny T's done, which is very clever, in terms of obviously it was a PG-13 rating, and it wasn't the typical what the Americans would refer to as an R rating. Not having people killed, where it's all creatures and it's androids, since there's no blood or whatever, but they still keep the violence and they still keep the action. It's still like an action film, and I think if they'd have shied away from that, it would have sort of took away from it a little bit. I want Predator films to be violent, but I do think it's also a clever move by Disney and Fox and whatever, that they go, right, we need to sort of introduce a younger audience, and it's not like the 90s where I'm sure you were the same. I had like Terminator and Alien toys, like
And Evil Dead toys.
I didn't have Evil Dead toys actually, and I'm disappointed that Pam never got me them.
Just a fucking life-size Necrocomicon.
Yeah.
Quite into that, mate.
Reading from it on a night. But yeah, like I think it's a great introduction, and I think the use of Bud, I think that it dropped it down a little bit for me the first time I watched it, because I was like, oh, here we go. Here's a Grogu style thing where it's like, here's something we can sell toys of. Here's something that we can, whereas actually he has such a, like you said, Massey, on that rewatch, he has such an important role to play, which again made it a bit more fun for me. But yeah, I thought it was a really well put together film as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Or
can I just circle back to what Todd said earlier about the Disneyfication of it? I was more meaning the kind of having Bud be the little like Groot character or like companion and stuff like that. That's what I was meaning. Like, it made it a bit more not family orientated in like a negative way, but that's what I'm meaning by like Naru had her dog, which is fair enough, but the dog wasn't really, even though it was my MVP, wasn't really a character as such, whereas Bud's a bit more involved. And I think it kind of stems from the likes of Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, of having that kind of group ensemble that are working together to defeat the bad guys or whatever. And again, not in a negative way. I think for the franchise, it's a bit of a step in a new direction. And again, not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Okay. Anything else you guys want to discuss about? Happy enough to go in there?
Yep. Good to go.
I think that one thing just on Elle Fanning, you'll like this, Todd, especially, is that she said that she drew inspiration from David Johnson's performance as Andy and Romulus, saying it gave her the confidence to make her own mark on this type of character. And you can kind of see the parallels, I think, of it, which is good because obviously they're both Weyland-Yutani synthetics, so they would kind of have a bit of a crossover of, behaviors and cadences and stuff, probably.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's a really interesting point, actually. Right, okay, so we'll go into our categories then. So, favourite quote, Todd?
Mine is when Deck is tied down and he's talking with Thea, with the little thing, the little map thing. He says it's a map, and then when it kills her, she says, "That was a children's toy," and he says, "Youch your children." I just think it sums up what Predators are.
Nice. For me, it was Deck to his dad at the end. I have my own clan. Like that just sets up the next sort of things so well. I love it. Collie?
Yeah, I have a clan written down, but I also had "You're not my father, you're my prey" as well. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, sick. Yeah. Favorite scene, Todd?
So it was the big final compound attack where Thea's separated from her legs and that whole thing's going on, where it's like her fighting two parts and Deck and then Bud coming in. It's just a nice culmination for the film.
I like how she high fives her legs at the end of that. I thought that was funny.
I totally agree, Todd. I think it was a combination of everything, and again, Deck using the terrain and stuff to his advantage. Yeah, I thought it was great. Fantastic. Yeah, the little choop. Collie?
I thought his fight with his dad at the end was great, how he had learned everything and how he used the dust blowing up to kind of review, because his dad's a fucking snaky cunt. With this shield that he keeps using and stuff, he obviously used it against his brother to start as well. Not very honourable. But yeah, I thought Deck using everything that he'd learnt about his environment and then Bud rocking up and biting his head off, I thought was class.
I wonder if anyone's ever used that word in a review of this film. His dad's a snaky cunt. They have now.
This is why we're at the forefront of podcasting.
Yeah, exactly. And MVP, Todd?
It was Elle Fanning for me. I loved her. I thought she was she brought light and the villainous to it, and did well to separate the two androids.
For me, it was Danny T. It's a 2-hour film, and it feels like an epic. It's so well paced, great action, tight story. yeah, I thought he did a fantastic job.
That's a great point. Like it doesn't feel long at all. I think
No.
it flows really well. Whereas like some films that are even just 90 minutes just drag and drag and drag and drag and drag. We might cover some of them later.
I wonder where you're going with that one.
For me, I've actually got two MVPs. For me, it's
Oh,
the
God.
Duffer Brothers as the onboard computer for Quay's ship. For Quay's ship.
Fair enough. Yeah, I totally agree. That's a really good shout, Collie. Brilliant. Oh well. Let's go into our. Are you alright there, Collie?
Yeah. This is all just like my alternative to you being like, oh, my MVP for whatever
Shut
film
up.
it was recently is like the fucking catering staff or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Todd, what was your rating for this film?
4.5.
Same for me, 4.5. Collie?
I give it a 4, but I could probably move it up to a 4.5. Maybe it might be one of those ones that if there's a sequel to it and the sequel's even better, then in retrospect, the first one might be better, like to be complimented by it, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
a June 2 kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Well, I think next thing is Prey 2, I believe, is his next sort of film. So hopefully kind of come together. I don't know. We'll see what happens, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I wonder what Prey 2... Prey 2 might be... I'd probably expect that to be more related to Killer of Killers, maybe.
Yeah.
For the fact that she's at the end of that, because Badlands, I think, from what I was looking into, because the Alien and Predator timelines are all over the place, I think Badlands is the most futuristic one in terms of it's the most in the future. Okay. So I don't know what they could really draw on from previous films. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
But if anyone could do it, it's Danny T.
Danny T.
Yeah. The Trachtenberg. All right. Do you want to rank them then? No. No. I was really enjoying to rank the Duffer Brothers in terms of 1 and 2, but
Whatever one's older is the best one, probably.
fair.
Are they twins?
I don't know. I have no idea. Todd, it's your episode, so why don't you go 1 to 5, or 5 to 1, sorry.
5 to 1. So I went for Playtest, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Badlands, Killer of Killers, Prey.
Interesting. I went Playtest, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Prey, Badlands, Killer of Killers. Collie?
Yeah, they are twins, by the way. Prey, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Killer of Killers, Badlands, and then Playtest.
First. Playtest.
Oh, sorry, were you did top to bottom? Sorry.
Yep.
I was too busy researching
Too busy
the
looking at
Duffer
Duffer
Brothers. Per your request. Sorry, Playtest, Badlands, Killer of Killers, Cloverfield Lane, and Prey.
Interesting stuff. Okie doke. Well, that is Dan Trachtenberg, Danny T and his Trachtiverse done. And who is the next choice again? I think it's me. It's me.
Yes.
And my next choice for the next episode is a nice tight one. Nice little 3
So what?
film. A nice tight one.
Why have you said it like that?
I didn't say a nice tight one.
Jesus
but anyway,
Christ.
it is Damien McCarthy. So we'll be talking about his 3 films, Caveat, Oddity, and then this year's Hokum. I think it's gonna be a great episode. I'm really excited to talk about it. Yeah, we are done for today's one. Again, if you're listening on Spotify, remember to follow, give us 5 stars. Let us know what you think of Dan Trachtenberg, and if you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, press the like button, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.